Hey guys, so today we're going to take a look at a power system that is much simpler and easier to use than the setup that I have. We'll look at that in a little bit, but we're going to take a look and test this unit right here and test it on my microwave to see how well it goes. So let's give it a shot. All right, so let's take a look at what we got here today. This Oukitel, I think that's how you pronounce it. It's a 1200 watt unit, and that number is actually key because I think 1200 watts is probably the minimum I would use if I want to run a microwave. And I do want to run a microwave in my system, so I want to test this um, to see how well it performs on my microwave. Let's see what's in the box. Okay, so let's first look at some of the specs on this. It is a lithium iron phosphate, so it's newer battery technology. That's great. It's 960 watt hour battery, and this is the key. It's 1200 watts, so that's my microwave probably uses around 1000 watts, so this uses 1200, so that gives me plenty of margin. 10 amp on the cigarette port, that's the max you're going to get. That's good. It's got some USB ports, and it is 12 and a half kilograms. Okay, let's look at it. All right, so let's see what we got here. User manual. Okay, got some cables. This is for using your cigarette lighter accessories. This is really nice because you could just plug it into your car and drive around, and it'll charge while you're driving around. And of course, this is for solar panels. If you have this type of port for your solar panels. Okay, this is just to plug into your wall. Let's take a look at the inside. Okay, so let's take a look at this unit. Let's take out that screen. Let's power this up. All right, so it comes, looks like it's 28% charged. So I'm definitely going to need to recharge that before I do my test. It's got 6 USB ports, 4 USB-Cs, and 2 USB-As. Different. So this is a high power port right here, the 100 watts, and everything else is the normal 20 watts. Okay. Over here, some DC outputs. If you want to use a little plug to get to your DC, and cigarette accessory type port, a light. Looks like a couple of different modes for the light. Let's see what else. Over here on the side. All right, so here's your AC plugs. There's 4 plugs. The power switch for the AC. Okay, this side looks like here's the reset fuse. And here's the input. So if you want to plug into your wall right here, and if you want to plug into your solar ports, or again, if you want to make it real easy, you don't even have to use solar. Just hook it up to your car while you're driving, and your alternator will recharge it through your cigarette lighter. So that's really handy for these types of units. That's going to be a lot simpler than mine. Up top, we got these handles with this little uh, false leather holding. It goes down like that. It's a pretty neat look. Seems like a pretty durable handle. All right, so let's plug this in, let it recharge, and then we'll take a look at my current system and compare. All right, so I got it plugged into my house or outlet, and it's charging, and you can see there's a little icon that says it's supercharging right now. And this is cool. It tells you how, it estimates how long it'll take for full charging. It says 77 minutes. So in 77 minutes, I could come back and I should have a fully charged system, 700 watt input right now. So that's pretty fast. Okay, so let's take a look at my car. All right, so let's take a look at my system. And yes, it can be pretty intimidating if you're not used to connecting electrical things and high power things at that. So I got a charger there for uh, my crank battery, so that goes to my car, and I have a big charger for my big 200 amp hour battery, which is underneath here. It's basically the size of this whole thing, and it sits underneath here. You can barely see it. Here I have a 2000-watt pure sine wave inverter. I have a DC charger where you could plug it into the wall. So if you're parked somewhere, you just plug it in and it'll charge the battery. Or when you're driving, you could plug it in there and I could get a slower charge. It's not a fast charge. And here's my MPPT. It's a step above a normal solar charge controller because it does a better job of, the voltage regulation. But that's why it's so big and bulky. But this is a 30 amp, and I only have a 100-watt solar panel, so I would never even come close to using the full 30 amps. And if you look down there, you can kind of see some messy wiring to my battery, and there's even a shunt for uh, my battery monitor. So that's quite a scary looking system, I know. And, some advantages of having this type of system is that, for the same amount of money, I could have a lot more power. There's no doubt about that. But, with greater power comes greater responsibility. And you could see, if it, it can be a bit of a hazard if you're not careful of what you're doing. But for most people, something like this will just take care of it. And you could buy a bigger unit, of course, but I want to test the minimum today. Okay, so I think it was actually slightly better than the estimated time, but we're at 100% now. So it's not charging anymore. I know there's glare, it's hard to see. So now we could give it a shot. Okay, first of all, I want to put it here for some comparison. I'm not going to take everything out, but you could see that from a size point of view, this is definitely much smaller and more compact. Yes, the battery is not a 200 amp hour battery in here. Of course, I mean, that itself is this big old thing. But it should be able to power everything that I have in here, except it won't do it for as long. So let's plug it in and give it a shot with my microwave over there. All right, so I just put it right there, but you could see it doesn't take up a lot of space. It's again 1200, and this microwave, I know it's listed at like 800, but it usually normally consumes closer to 1000. So we're gonna heat up some hot tea and see how much power that takes. So I got that power station connected to a power strip that my microwave is plugged into. So let's power it on. Okay, power it on 100%. And I think you go here and you put on the AC button. There you go. And from that, my microwave is now powered up. Okay. Get some water in there. So let's heat it up for 5 minutes. I don't need that much, but let's run it for 5 minutes. And this is on high, and see what results we get. Come down here. All right, you can see it's pulling over a thousand watts. And we'll see how much percentage of the battery it draws after we finish 5 minutes of microwave use on full. All right, done. You can see, wow, there's still 90% left. Well, that's a little hot for me to. Of course, 5 minutes of microwave is plenty for hot water. But you can see running the microwave for 5 minutes takes around 10% of the battery. So I think that's pretty good for this little sucker. It's able to power this microwave. 1,000 watts looks like, roughly 1,000 watts. And you're still looking at 90% battery life left after 5 minutes of microwave use. So let's plug in a 100-watt portable solar panel and see how long it estimates the recharge time will be. You can see it's just a little bit higher than my thing, but if it wasn't but if I had designed it, my cabinet for this to begin with, it could have easily fit sideways in that space right there that I have. So again, the advantages of doing something small like this is pretty obvious. You know, it takes a lot less space, and it's all contained within this. There's no wiring. You just recharge it and keep going. It's a pretty sunny day, so let's test out this solar panel. So I have a portable panel here. All right, so this is a 100-watt portable. All right, so I got those solar panels up. Okay, so there's a lot of glare right now, so it's a little bit hard to see. But you can see it's charging. It says roughly 2 hours. And you know, it already went up from 90 to 91 using my solar panels just for the 1 minute or so that I was setting it up. So in 2 hours or so, we could be back at 100% just using these portable solar panels. So that's great. So this little sucker, you know, it it's small, but it's powerful, and it might be all you really need.